Hi, I'm Ethan, and welcome back to The Midnight Show. First, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I do have a lot of plans for the new year that I'm really excited for, which I will inform you all on eventually. So here's to what is hopefully a good 2022. So before I got into working on the short films page, I made some modifications to the thumbnails for my design and photography pages. I decided to take out the rounded corners, and instead of having the title over the image, I just decided to have it on the bottom left corner of the thumbnail because I think it looks nicer that way, and you don't have to hover over them to see what the name is anymore. Now for the short films page. I started by going into video files and choosing which short films I wanted to display. I left out most of the small projects and one-person videos, and I just kept the ones that had at least a crew and a plot. Some of the really old ones do make me cringe a little, but at least that's a good sign that progress has been made. In the end, I was left with a total of 9 short films that I had either produced, directed, or just helped work on. Next step was to figure out how I wanted the pages to look. I took heavy inspiration from A24 and how their website is formatted. I love A24's style of filmmaking, and although I haven't watched many of the films, the ones that I have seen, I did really like. So yeah, I think it's a good choice. The design for the main page is pretty much just the same thing as the design and photo pages. It was made pretty much the same way with the Wix gallery and having the thumbnails, and I got those thumbnails by simply taking screenshots of the films and then cropping them to my liking. Next, I did a test design of the Contusion page, again taking heavy inspiration from A24's website. I really wanted the thumbnail of the short film to take up the whole top of the page, like A24's does, and it took a while to figure out how to do that, but eventually I found this thing called Wix Video, and what it let me do is add the short film with this super wide thumbnail, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's pretty accurate to what I wanted it to look like visually. The only thing that I don't like is that it has the play video text in the middle, but I try to tinker with it and there's nothing that I could do about it. There's no way to get rid of it. So I guess I'll just have to leave it there. After that, I added the description underneath containing the credits for the crew and cast, the date it was released, and a log line for the story. Once I was satisfied with the test design, I duplicated it to make all the other short film pages, and then I went back to the main page to link them all to their respective thumbnails. Next part was pretty much rinse and repeat of the same thing. I uploaded all the short films to Wix Video, and then I connected them to the right pages, wrote the credits, and wrote the log lines. Now, I also had the idea of adding behind-the-scenes content for whichever films already had some on file, so I went into my high school archives and chose the behind-the-scenes photos and videos I wanted to include, and then uploaded them to Wix. I used this little slider feature to display them on the page, which functions well enough, but unfortunately I couldn't get a slider that could display both photo and video together without paying a premium thing. So I had to put them into separate sliders, which I guess looks fine, but I'm hoping in the future I'll be able to change that. For Contusion though, I was originally going to do the same thing and put small clips from Gio's documentary, but apparently Wix Video has an upload limit that you could only disable if you paid extra, so I decided why not just link the actual documentary from YouTube, and so I did that. And while I'm at it, I might as well add my Dead Cat Productions miniseries, which I swear I'm going to get around to finishing, just not really sure when that will be. Anyways, I gave it a quick check and that was pretty much everything for short film page. So I finally had it done. It was finally over. And psych, of course it's not, because there's a mobile page and I always forget about the mobile page. And so I had to go back and then fix that, go into the mobile editor, yada yada yada. I'm gonna be honest guys, I did not try that hard with the mobile version of the film page. It really looks like shit. That originally brilliant ultra-wide thumbnail thing on the computer, it gets shrunk down into this little box at the top with black bars on the top and bottom, and it won't even let me get rid of it. After finishing this page, I actually checked on A24 to see what they do, and for their thumbnail, they're somehow able to get it into a vertical mode, which looks really nice, but I don't think Wix will let me do that. So I'll have to find out something else. Oh, and of course the same thing happened to the video links. that are on Contusion's page, and I think it also happened to the video sliders too. On all the other short film pages for the behind the scenes stuff, they all have that kind of black bar thing. It looks really bad, and I don't know, I gotta change it. It's a mess. It's a mess, guys. Photo slides doesn't look any better either. The arrows are like way too big, and it won't let you rotate the photo when you like zoom in on it, so you just kind of have to squint, and yeah, that's also pretty bad. It sucks, guys, I won't even lie, but do I feel like fixing it right now? Can't say I do. Maybe one day when I'm like bored enough where I'm like, yeah, I should probably try to make that look better, but for now, it's not really my problem anymore. I'm moving on. Okay, the music page took a lot less time and effort than the short films page, which I'm glad was the case because I was pretty much ready to wrap this up. So for the music page, again, I started by going to my files and choosing which beats I wanted to include. And once I was done looking through, I ended up with a total of 33 beats to use. I took inspiration for the design of this page from Ty Beats, who's a producer that I used to listen to a lot, and I would get ideas from him when I was starting to make music. Originally, I was going to have a main page with links to other pages that included each individual track with an audio player, but I thought it was super unnecessary, so instead I opted to have only one page with a single audio player, and underneath would include a list of all the tracks that you could click and listen to, sort of like a playlist. After making the general design, I uploaded all the beats into Wix Music, which is pretty much the same thing as a Wix video. It's like a big hub where you can upload all your work and then implement it into your website. After that, I went into Illustrator and made some minimal cover designs for each track. I did this by first picking a color that I thought matched the vibe of the beat, and then I used that as the background. Then I added a bit of grain to it and added the title using this 3D font I got from this website, 1001 Fonts. I exported the Blood Moon one and gave it a test on the website, and I liked how it looked, so I went back into Illustrator and did the same process for each track. Then I went into Wix Music and replaced the cover image for each beat with the one that I designed. Lastly, I checked how it looked on mobile, and because of its simplicity, it pretty much came out perfect, and I didn't need to adjust anything. So that's good. And that pretty much concluded everything, so I gave the website one quick double check, and then I published it. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the whole thing. I'm so happy to finally have a hub for all my past and present and future creative work where it can be displayed, and thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey to make it. Will I ever need to do something like this again? Well, surprisingly, I just might, but not anytime soon. I do have something that I'm ready to share with you guys that I'm excited to be getting back into, and I'm hoping this year is the year it goes somewhere. So here's to the new year, and here's to the new era.